Hello, West Ham Network. It's Holly and I'm here with your Hammers headlines for today, Tuesday, the 21st of November, run in association with the amazing guys at KUMB.com. Today, we are going to be chatting about a huge new development right on our doorstep, a distinct lack of strikers for our next game, and a potential Soucek replacement. Now, we've got a lot to chat about, so let's jump straight into your Hammers headlines. Up first, plans for a major development, the MSG Sphere, continue to be worked through, which could be a very exciting addition on our doorstep. Now, for anyone that hasn't heard of it or hasn't seen it, Vegas's MSG Sphere is looking to bring a very similar venue to Stratford, which could turn the Olympic Park into an even more exciting visit, or potentially even a new kind of away day experience that we could enjoy on our own doorstep. So we would be able to potentially, if we could obviously organise this, be able to watch away games right next to our own stadium. So for anyone that's not seen it, it's basically a gigantic sphere that is full of screens on the inside and the outside. And it's being used for all kinds of things. So it's being used for sports over in Vegas, as well as anything you can imagine basically watching there. So for this to happen, there would definitely need to be work done in terms of improving traffic and travel infrastructure to make everything run smoothly, because this is also a big venue that seats a lot of people. Now, the good news is that there would be many benefits for West Ham that we could also benefit from as fans, which I'm going to be running through in a little bit more detail shortly. But yeah, basically, if anyone that's not seen the dome before, it is gigantic. It's made up of a huge screen on the inside as well as one on the outside, and it makes it a really immersive experience. It's taller than the Statue of Liberty, and it's currently being used for concerts, art exhibitions, and sporting events. Now, the one in Vegas has got 17,500 seats inside, and it's also the highest resolution screen in the world, with it being 100 times clearer than the best HD TVs available. So it's basically rather exciting, rather technological. And the screen itself covers a larger area than 3 football fields. And MSG are keen to make the next venue in Stratford basically right next to our stadium. So what would the benefits be for West Ham fans? So MSG are wanting to improve traffic and travel in the area, all funded by themselves, which would be welcome news. However, you attend games, whether you drive, whether you get trains, what they're wanting to do basically would improve the match day experience for you. They want to build a brand new entrance to the station. They want to build a new ticketing hall. They would also schedule the events taking place there to run at different times to West Ham games, making sure it doesn't negatively impact on West Ham fans' travel. And it said that they would also want to invest in the road and the network highway around the London Stadium, which would make it easier to get to and from games, because we would be able to use that as well. Now, they clearly have some quite high expectations, because they are currently describing Stratford as inaccessible as it is currently set up. But as someone who drives to most games and then spends 2 hours trying to leave a car park, I can definitely agree that improvements would make the overall match day experience more enjoyable, shall we say, because you wouldn't be stuck basically for about 3 hours after full time. Other improvements include 3 new pedestrian bridges, more pedestrian friendly junctions to keep the flow of people moving without disrupting traffic, and also widening footpaths. So that is what they want to do. It's definitely split opinion as well, because some people are quite excited about the prospect of this. Some people are quite worried about what it could mean. Sadiq Khan has apparently rejected plans for the MSG Sphere in Stratford, stating concerns over light pollution and the development's green credentials, which obviously can be adapted with future plans. However, it's not actually his decision to make, as Michael Gove is the one with the final ruling. Sphere Entertainment, who are responsible for Vegas' Sphere and this £800 million plan, have said that if London isn't willing to take on the project, then they will go elsewhere. So their spokesperson said, while we're disappointed in London's decision so far, there are many forward-thinking cities that are eager to bring this technology to their communities. We'll concentrate on those. So there we have it, a little bit of shade thrown there. We could definitely see, I guess we've got the ABBA Arena now next to it, and that's not been detrimental from what I've seen so far. And it could definitely be an interesting one that makes match day travel more smooth in principle, plus turn Stratford into more of a destination and allow us to enjoy watching sports at a second venue in the area, if that was something that was doable. So the big question is, does this sound good to you? A venue that's basically one gigantic screen. So let us know in the comments if you are for or against the MSG Sphere arriving in Stratford. Up second, Claret and Hugh are reporting that Bowen looks certain to miss the Burnley game. He's apparently being sent to an expert specialist to look at his injured knee. A scan has been said to now show that his knee is not quite right. What that means exactly, I'm not sure, as visible swelling is obviously never a good thing, but we can only assume that no mention of significant damage to things like ligaments from that first scan could be a positive. And it sounds as though we're definitely going to be without Antonio for this game as well, after initial reports of his season being over were kind of thrown out. But it now sounds as though it could still be quite bad knee ligament damage. We could see him out of action for at least 2 weeks bare minimum, although it said that he could be back playing within a month if that is the best case scenario. And I know his performances have caused quite a lot of frustration amongst fans, but in recent games where we've been struggling to do anything with possession, a lot of people that I sit near at games actually that I've heard literally obviously calling for Antonio to get subbed off continuously, I've heard them start to call for him to come on as an impact sub to see if that can make a difference. So while this injury will allow us to explore more options up top, I definitely don't think not having him as an option is a good thing. But again, let us know what you think. Should we have Bowen and Antonio out for our next game or possibly longer? Who do you think should be our ideal solution? Who goes up top? One of the options could definitely be Kudus up top, but if he's also unavailable with his back injury, how would you organise our lineup for Burnley? Let us know in the comments. And also, if you would like to hear more about the injuries that we have suffered over international break, and there've been quite a few, check out my video from earlier today where I ran through the latest updates and what this could mean for West Ham moving forward. And finally, last but not least, Roman midfielder Brian Christon has been linked with West Ham, with us apparently joining the race with Aston Villa and Spurs to win him over. The 28-year-old midfielder could be a potential replacement for Soucek. However, he's the same age as Soucek, and he's also a fair bit shorter, meaning he's not necessarily the long-term solution that we'd need, and he might be sort of lacking some of the aerial threat that Soucek brings to our team. So, to run you through his stats, they're decent, and he has scored 2 goals and assisted 3 in 16 games this season, with 7 games in central midfield, 5 as a defensive midfielder, and 4 as a centre-back. So he can play in a range of positions in the centre there. In the 4 games where he was a centre-back, quite interestingly, they won all of them, with 3 of them resulting in clean sheets and the other resulting in 1 goal. So he may well be able to fit quite well in at centre-back should it be needed. Always useful. And it's thought that he's valued at 30 million euros, which is around 26 million pounds. Obviously, this position isn't one that is like our most essential, vital, must sign someone in this position next window. But again, let me know your thoughts. Would you like to see Brian Christon added to the squad in upcoming transfer windows? There we have it. That is all for today. So drop us a comment with your thoughts on today's Hammers headlines. Make sure you've given this video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. And most importantly, have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. And until next time, come on you Irons.